This is 7 News, the voice of the Central West.
Tonight, Forbes and Parks the focus for police during a successful 3-day operation.
Officers prevent drugs being smuggled into one of the region's prisons.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, 3 parties to pick a boss as Labor reshuffles its upper ranks and a teacher accused of having child abuse material learns his fate.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. A multi-unit police operation in the region's west has cracked down on a crime wave.
Several people are now before the courts, but locals in Forbes say it's the sort of policing presence that they actually need permanently.
On return from a 3-day blitz on the beat.
You know, we had our police out there, we saturated the 2 towns and, we've got some good results.
Catching police eyes, parks, Forbes, everything around and in between. Soteria was requested to attend the parks and Forbes area. We saw a spike in property crime. That's to combat this, brazen theft, through to daytime pursuits in stolen cars.
Oh yeah, I live alone. I'm a pensioner and I'm 72. How am I going to protect myself against young people?
Locals out west say they're in the thick of a crime wave.
Well, you see it on Facebook, you hear people talking.
One of those stories set to be heard here tomorrow. That's after a drug bust on Scrivener Street, Forbes, involving a minor.
It was a pleasing result. Police made a number of arrests.
Another one in nearby Mandadgery. Detectives found human growth hormones, a knife, pepper spray, knuckle dusters and a stolen Bobcat loader.
Look, the investigation's ongoing. As I said, the police conducted a firearm prohibition order there at Mandadgery.
An arrest was also made in Condobolin, rounding out an operation involving dozens of school visits, 20 bail checks and nearly 50 traffic breaches. With the results deemed a success by police, they have every intention of bringing this highly public operation back to town, although locals here in Forbes want to see that sort of presence permanently.
Well, we haven't got police 24-hour, you know.
And I think the real problem is numbers of police at the moment.
A 3-day glimpse into what the 24/7 life could be like. Declan Milton, 7 News.
A woman has been caught allegedly attempting to smuggle drugs into a Wellington Correctional Centre. The prison's drug detection dog gave a positive reaction to the 32-year-old. Police were told she allegedly attempted to bring methamphetamine and opioid strips into the centre on her way to visiting a person. She is now facing several counts of bringing a prohibited drug into a place of detention.
Damning new statistics have revealed 70% of fatal road accidents are happening in the regions. It is prompting a widespread push to improve road safety, with sadly 134 lives already lost across the state this year alone.
340. That's how many lives were lost on New South Wales roads last year. Almost 70% were on regional roads. Victims, both male and female, of all ages.
And 2/3 of that was in the country. So we need to work with government and with people to make sure that the road toll over time comes down.
134 people have already died on our state roads in 2025, which is 22 more than this time last year, making this year's Road Safety Week message, "Drive so others survive," very relevant.
So it's very important that people do drive to conditions and people don't go at 65 when the speed limit is 60, so casual speeding is very critical.
This week coincides with 100 years of road safety with New South Wales Police. It's been more than 80 years since speed limits were enforced in built-up areas, and 24 years since school zones were introduced.
Those other initiatives, especially the school zones, no question saved many lives on our roads.
Regional towns across the state are constantly making changes to prevent the death toll from rising, like reducing speed limits in the main streets.
We have elderly people in the community or young kids that run out of cars in those CBD areas, and I don't think 30 kilometres an hour in a main street is too excessive.
Speeding isn't the only factor that attributes to a fatal crash. Run-down regional roads, which are still waiting to be fixed, are also to blame.
There's a large backlog in infrastructure, so over $3 billion is required, we think, to get the New South Wales roads up to standard, and a lot of that is in regional Australia.
Amy O'Halloran, 7 News.
Redevelopment work will begin in a matter of months on the Great Cobar copper mine. The deposit was first discovered in 1870. However, the site closed in 1919 following the end of World War I. It will now be redeveloped. That's after a study found large amounts of gold, silver and copper.
This is a fantastic project for Aurelia Metals at a time when our Federation mine is ramping up into full production, and we can now commence the work towards building our Great Cobar mine in the coming months.
The Great Cobar project is also one of 28 sites across the state identified as holding critical minerals. The government data hoping to entice investment into the region.
A group of hikers are in safe hands tonight thanks to an early morning rescue mission in the Wallamai National Park. The Lithgow VRA branch received a signal for help just after 1:30 on Sunday morning. A chopper then went out looking for the missing group, but it was 6 hours before they were found. The VRA is reminding people to make sure you always carry a personal locator beacon when you're heading out to remote areas.
Dubbo locals have shown up to make their voices heard. Dozens took to the streets over the weekend, joining thousands across the country as they rallied to say no more to domestic violence. Representatives from the region's support services and councils were joined by community members, with the gathering including speeches from survivors of family violence. The rally represents the community's commitment to stand up and fight for safety and justice in the region. And if you or anyone you know needs support, you can contact 1800 RESPECT. That's 1800 737 732.
A new machine is helping divert a major waste player from landfill, selling it on to be turned into building materials. Now, Dubbo Regional Council say processing polystyrene could even save ratepayers money.
Loaded onto a conveyor belt and with the flick of a switch, Dubbo Regional Council's answer to processing polystyrene is put to work.
It's important to divert this waste from landfill because it fills up the tip really quickly and can't be compacted.
The new machine, co-funded thanks to a $40,000 grant from the EPA, piece by piece diverts the polystyrene away from landfill.
Polystyrene is compiled into bags or broken up into small pieces, which allows the polystyrene to go through a conveyor belt and be melted down.
What's left of the polystyrene is then melted into small blocks.
It ends up looking like this, a dense, compacted material that allows us to transport it long distances at a feasible price.
The blocks are then sold onto manufacturers, using it to make building materials like skirting boards, architraves, window frames as well as picture frames. Over 71,000 tonnes of polystyrene is produced in Australia each year. 85% of it goes into landfill. The Mayor says this machine is a cash saver.
But 62% of our emissions come from landfill. By reducing that, we're saving ratepayers money.
Clean polystyrene can be dropped off at the Wailandra and Wellington waste facilities free of charge.
Council is forecasting approximately 10 tonne per annum, or equivalent to 1,600 cubic metres, to be diverted annually.
Hamish Southwell, 7 News.
Kirsty joins us now with a look at today's weather. And Kirsty, it was a lovely day today.
It was. And before we get to the weather, of course, a big welcome back to you, Maddie. We're so excited to have you back from maternity leave.
Maddie, we are absolutely delighted to welcome you back. And of course, all the viewers at home probably feel exactly the same way. So welcome back, Maddie.
Thank you. So lovely to see you. You'll be sick of me by the end of the week, but we'll see.
We won't. Never. And the good news is we've had quite a beautiful day to welcome you back too. Hello, everybody. Our settled weekend weather continuing for the start of the new working week. A bit of patchy cloud overnight, trapped in some warmth. So our minimums weren't too cool this morning, even in double figures in orange with 10 degrees first thing. Skies were mostly clear and sunny throughout the day, the low to high 20s. Once again, we're seeing maximums about 5 degrees above the May average with 24 in Dubbo. Quite a light breeze too, swinging out off the southeast and the northeast. So our feels like temperature very similar to these maximums today. Our week ahead, much the same, though a chance of a few showers around. I'll have the details soon.
Sounds good, Kirsty. We'll see you very soon. Well, stay with us at 7 News. Up next, tractors and drivers gear up for an epic trek. It's all for a very good cause.
And winter safety is a hot topic at the annual Fire and Rescue Open Day in Orange.
A little later on, this news out, big changes in Canberra as the Prime Minister unveils his new look cabinet. Plus, a global trade war appears to have been averted. Talks progress between the US and China. And an all-out brawl causes chaos at a Tina Arena concert.
So getting ready to rev up their engines, they're about to embark on a slow but steady trek right across the outback, and all the money raised will be going to a very good cause.
14 mates, 9 tractors, and 1,300 k's of open country.
Oh, it's great fun. You just getting out there on a tractor, it's great fun. Yeah, it's good.
Richard Jeffray and his crew are gearing up to travel from Bourke to Birdsville, all on Massey Ferguson tractors.
There's no comforts, there's no suspension, you're out in the elements.
The reason? To raise money for prostate cancer.
And we just know people with prostate cancer. My dad's got it, so we're just trying to get awareness.
It means a lot to me because I've got prostate cancer. So guys doing stuff like this, get some money, goes to the people that do the research, and hopefully someone will benefit from it.
But the trek isn't always smooth sailing.
The first half an hour is great fun, but you just sort of got to chill out and relax and, yeah, just look around the environment.
All to take the first step in starting the conversation.
Some of the farmers and that will talk to us about it, and when you find out they're talking to somebody that has it, some of them come out and say, my husband's got it, or they'll say, I've got it.
Encouraging men to go out and get tested.
I only got diagnosed when I was 50, basically through an accident. Just talking to the doctor about something else, and next thing he goes, "Well up, boys, we've got a problem here."
The guys are hoping to raise $100,000, with support still needed to get them ready for their journey, which sets off in August.
We do need other equipment like fuel and food and supplies, and some sponsors and on that side would be nice.
Raising awareness for one simple message.
The trick is, get diagnosed early, talk to your doctor, and see how it goes.
Kimberly Lambourne, 7 News.
A winter safety message has been at the forefront of the state's Fire and Rescue Open Day. At the Orange Station, visitors were captivated by dramatic demonstrations.
The Fire and Rescue Open Day in Orange was a lot of fun, but it came with a serious message.
So our motivation today is to get people to understand the severity of house fires, but also have a chat with us about smoke alarms and how we can help them.
Smoke alarms, just one important talking point. Knowing how to be fire safe in the kitchen, another.
And that's because 50% of fires start in the kitchen, that everybody should keep looking when cooking, and that's all year round. There's an explosive reaction when the water hits the oil. So we have a simulator here where we can demonstrate just how serious that is.
Having a fire blanket on hand, essential. But the focus wasn't solely on home safety. Fiery showing off the many ways they can help at serious road incidents. Hydraulic equipment making light work of car doors.
What that's designed to do is allow our ambulance to get full access to a patient who's trapped.
There are also plenty of opportunities to check out the fire trucks and equipment and what goes on inside the station. Plus, you could chat to firefighters about how they can help you.
Fire and Rescue New South Wales offers a safety visits program, which is where we can come out and we can test the smoke alarm. If they don't have one, we can install one for free.
And after you'd watched the demonstrations, had your photo taken in the fire trucks and spoken to the fireys themselves, there was just one thing left to do. Michelle Cook, 7 News.
Up next in 7 News, the all-orange clash in Blouse Cup Rugby Union has spectators on their feet.
And the Spaceys come from behind to claim a thrilling Peter McDonald Premiership victory.
It was an unforgettable third round of the Peter McDonald Premiership as Park Spacemen hosted Nyngan Tigers. Now, the Tigers were looking like winners until disaster struck, and it happened just minutes before the siren.
With a win and a loss each, Parks and Nyngan knew that this match was crucial for momentum. Ashley Davies got the party started for the visitors before the hosts opened their account as Thomas Phillips charged across the line. An incredible solo effort from Will Black gave Nyngan their second. And it wasn't long before they ducked under for another. The two sides hustled hard in defence with spoiled opportunities at both ends. Parks Junior Aguilar punched through the pack for his first of the day. The home side denied a third just before the break.
The Spaceys took their intensity to a whole new world in the second half, as their number 4 on fire found the gap again. But the Tigers continued to pounce. A determined dive from Park's speedy centre gave him a hat-trick. With just 6 minutes left, injury put the game on pause. The Spacemen were down by 2 points. But when play resumed, Mitch Wright made an astronomical final move. Emotions were high at the siren, the score 28-24.
If you can walk away from a game like that with 2 points, you've got to be happy.
Sometimes the ball goes your way and it doesn't the other time, and today was one of them times that, we just weren't good enough.
In the other matches, Orange Sims' stunning field goal in the final minutes gave them the win over Hawks, while Forbes continued their streak against Macquarie. Tamara McGregor, 7 News.
Castlereagh League's reigning champions, the Coolah Kangaroos, have narrowly escaped the Bear Trap after a thrilling round 3 clash against Canamble. The two rivals were drawn at half-time, with the lead changing on 4 separate occasions before the final 18-16 result and a win for the Roos. In the other matches, another close scoreline for Cobar against Coonabarabran, and Narromine smashed Warren, while in the tag, Coolah kept Canamble at 0 and Dunedoo defeated Barradine. It was girl power galore at Mudgee Racecourse overnight as a star female jockey took out an impressive win at the club's Ladies' Day meet. In race 6, Loud took the early lead, but favourite Miss Rebel was on its tail at the home turn. The two were absolutely neck and neck leading up to the last 50 metres, but in the final dash, a new contender came charging down the outside.
Yes, close here. Oh, Miss Rebel, and so you suggest there's a nose in it?
So you suggest, and jockey Michaela Weir snatching the win from Miss Rebel by less than a nostril. The victory earning trainer Todd Howlett $15,000 in prize money. Central West Rugby Union fans have been sent into a frenzy after a round 4 nail-biter. Orange City hosted Orange Emus in a Blouse Cup derby battle that came right down to the wire.
In a round that divided a town, Orange Emus ran into the Lions' Den for the rivals' first clash of the 2025 Blouse Cup competition. It wasn't the start the hosts had hoped for, as Emu skipper Charlie Henley rolled his way onto the score sheet.
As a try to Orange Emus, 7.5 minutes in.
The bad luck continued for City off the back of broken play.
And that's a try for Orange Emus.
A successful conversion took the score to 12-0, before the hosts finally gave their supporters on the hill something to cheer about.
And that's an Orange City try.
Emu's Mitch Evers' brilliant kick into the corner sent Louis Munro Carr over the try line, before City's Ben Maher sprinted down the sideline for his second. A determined drive from Seth Hayden extended the Emus' lead, and it was looking as though his side were going to come out on top. A penalty kick for City gave them a much-needed 3 points.
Flags go up.
With just 4 minutes remaining, they trailed by 9. But then Dylan Ryan capitalised on a costly fumble with a full-field sprint and sent spectators into a spin.
He's fist-pumping, Dylan Ryan!
His conversion took the margin to 2. With just minutes remaining, Ryan found Harry Cookler on the edge. And the Lions roared. The final score 29-24. In the other matches, Dubbo defeated Cowra and Bathurst beat Forbes. Tamara McGregor, 7 News.
Stay with us at 7. Kirsty's back in just a couple of moments, and she will take a look at your week ahead in local weather.
Good evening, everyone. Another lovely settled week on the forecast. A ridge of high pressure is extending across New South Wales with cool mornings, mostly sunny days and above average temperatures. But this system is also causing onshore winds which are pushing moisture along our coastline, resulting in showers. A cold front will cross the state midweek with overnight temperatures dipping and possibly returning us to some areas of frost. Now, coastal showers do look quite extensive, stretching from Sydney to the Queensland border, around 60 millimetres along the coast coastal fringe, about 40 to 50 through the ranges, but lighter falls for the rest of the state. We're not expecting any more than around 5 to 10 millimetres this week across the central west. Tomorrow, mostly fine conditions. We can expect a clear day with a light easterly breeze. Temperatures 23 for Dubbo, 24 degrees in Nyngan, though across the tablelands a shower or two possible from the late morning. Bathurst reaching 20 and slightly heavier falls around Lithgow and the Blue Mountains. A few showers will track into the middle of the week and become more widespread, but once again no more than just a light millimetre or two. Some early fog about the ranges, then partly cloudy for most of the day. Parks reaching 22 degrees and 17 our maximum in Orange. But overnight on Wednesday, a cold front will sweep through parts of the region, cooling temperatures by a degree or two, waking to just 6 degrees in Condobolin, but a sunny 23 during the day. Further east, a little bit of fog ahead of a chance of a shower or two once again. A mostly fine day for Cowra, 23 degrees, and Mudgee with a top of 20. Through to the 7-day outlook, another bit of a cooler spell coming overnight throughout the weekend, but maximums are slowly beginning to return to our May averages following a very warm autumn so far. Bit of drizzle heading into Friday for Orange too, but definitely easing off a little bit back down to 15 by the time we reach Saturday.
Not bad at all, Kirsty. We'll take it. Thank you.
And that's your local news for tonight. Thanks for watching.
Up next, Dan has all your latest national news. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 6.